3 terrifying true pit stop horror stories. Story 1. The Whispering Cashier. I'd been driving across Ohio for hours, heading to visit my cousin who just moved out to the middle of nowhere. It was well past midnight, and I'd been fighting sleep for the last 30 miles. My gas gauge was hovering near empty, so when I saw a flickering sign for a 24-hour gas station off the highway, I didn't hesitate to pull in. The place was old. Peeling paint, cracked pavement, one lone pump glowing under a buzzing fluorescent light. I figured I'd fill up, grab a coffee, and get back on the road. Inside, the cashier was this older guy with a scruffy beard, sitting behind the counter, staring at a tiny TV playing static. I nodded at him as I grabbed a stale-looking coffee from the machine and set it on the counter with some cash. He didn't say anything at first, just rang me up. But as he handed me my change, he leaned in close and whispered, "You hear it too, don't you?" I froze. His voice was so quiet, I almost didn't catch it, and his eyes were locked on mine like he was waiting for an answer. I forced a laugh and said, "Hear what?" He didn't smile. "The hum. Out there." He nodded toward the pumps. I brushed it off, grabbed my stuff, and headed back to my car. But as I started filling the tank, I heard it. A low, steady hum, like machinery vibrating underground. It wasn't loud, but it was there, creeping into my skull. I glanced around, but the lot was empty, just me and the dim glow of the station. When I finished, I looked back at the store, and the cashier was standing at the window, still staring at me. I got in my car and peeled out of there, heart racing. The hum followed me for miles, fading only when the sun started to rise. I still don't know what it was, but I'll never stop at a gas station that small again. Story 2. The Van in the Fog. I'm a night owl by nature, so driving late doesn't bother me. I was on my way back from a weekend trip in North Carolina, cutting through back roads to avoid the interstate traffic. It was around 2 a.m. and a thick fog had rolled in, making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. I'd been sipping energy drinks to stay awake, but my bladder was screaming, so I pulled into the first rest stop I saw, a tiny one with a single bathroom building and a couple of picnic tables swallowed by the mist. As I parked, I noticed an old white van sitting at the far end of the lot, its engine off, no lights. I figured someone was sleeping in there and didn't think much of it. I hurried into the bathroom, did my business, and came back out, ready to hit the road. But when I got to my car, the van was closer, parked just 2 spaces away now. I hadn't heard it move. The fog was so dense, I couldn't see if anyone was inside, but the side door was cracked open just an inch. I told myself it was nothing, got in my car, and started the engine. That's when I heard it, a faint tapping, like fingernails on metal, coming from the van. I locked my doors and backed out, keeping an eye on it in my rearview mirror. I pulled onto the road. The van's headlights flicked on, cutting through the fog. It didn't follow me right away, but a mile later, I saw those same lights in the distance behind me. They stayed there, tailing me for over an hour, never getting closer, never falling back. I took random turns, sped up, slowed down. Nothing shook it. Finally, I pulled into a brightly lit truck stop, and when I looked again, it was gone. I slept in my car that night with the doors locked, too scared to keep driving. Story 3. The Empty Diner. I was on a solo road trip from Pennsylvania to Virginia, moving some stuff for a new job. It's about a 6-hour drive, and I'd left late, so by 3 a.m., I was starving and desperate for a break. I saw a neon sign for a 24-hour diner off the highway, an old-school place with a faded open sign blinking in the window. The parking lot was empty except for a beat-up pickup truck near the entrance. I figured it was the cooks or something and went inside. The diner was eerily quiet. No music, no clatter of dishes, just the hum of the fluorescent lights. A waitress appeared from the back, middle-aged with tired eyes, and told me to sit anywhere. I picked a booth by the window, ordered a burger and fries, and waited. She brought my food fast, but as I ate, I noticed she kept glancing out the window, like she was watching for something. I looked too, but all I saw was my car and that pickup truck in the dark. Halfway through my meal, the lights flickered and the waitress vanished into the kitchen. I heard a door slam somewhere in the back, and then silence. I waited a minute, thinking she'd come back, but she didn't. I got up to check, and the kitchen was empty. No staff, no food cooking, nothing. My plate was still on the table, half eaten. But now the pickup truck outside was gone too. I left cash on the counter and bolted to my car, feeling like I was being watched the whole way. When I pulled out, I saw headlights flare to life inside the rearview mirror, way back in the lot where no car had been before. They didn't follow me, but I drove with my foot on the gas until dawn, too freaked out to stop again. I still wonder if that diner was even real.